Now, I've always found it difficult to recommend the PlayStation Portal because you need to be at home with a PS5 for it to work reasonably well. I've actually tested mine from another location and it was absolutely terrible. And the community has been crying out for cloud streaming on it. Well, it seems that Sony has now listened, and in this video we're going to check out their new beta version of cloud streaming on the PlayStation Portal. So without further delay, let's dive in. So there's a new update for the PlayStation Portal, and what it brings with it is cloud streaming, so you don't actually need a PlayStation 5 anymore. Now, it is still in beta, but you don't have to sign up to some beta program. If you grab your PlayStation Portal now, update it, you'll see you have a new option in settings. Now, by default it's turned off, so you need to go into the settings and turn it on. Now, I'm not a massive fan of cloud streaming when it comes to gaming, and if you've seen any of my other videos, especially one on the Amazon Fire Stick when they've done that Xbox cloud gaming collaboration, you'll see I was pretty harsh on it. Now, I do want to give these services the best possible opportunity, so I went out and upgraded my internet to 1 gigabit full fibre direct to the property with extremely low latency. So it's pretty much an optimum sort of environment to test cloud streaming. Now, when I first got the PlayStation Portal, I did try connecting it to another network at someone else's house and try to remote in and use my PS5. That experience was absolutely terrible, so I knew it was going to be better than that, and I was actually quite surprised. But before we get into that and move over to the PlayStation Portal and sort of show you some gameplay, etc., here's a quick message from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by KeysFan, and they've got some of the biggest savings I've ever seen on their Black Friday event. But they don't want you to wait to grab one of these amazing deals, so you can take advantage of this amazing offer today. So you can finally make the jump to Windows 11 Pro, giving you more performance, a redesigned interface and enhanced security features with a massive 52% off. And even more impressive, you can get Microsoft Office 2021 Professional Plus for 62% off. So let's jump on the KeysFan website and see what that actually means. So this Windows 11 Professional key is normally $29.99. So let's add it to our basket and use the code ARG52. As you can see, it's only $14.40 now, and that's only £11.11 if you're here with me in the UK. So with a deal this good, I treated myself to another Windows key for another computer. That's why it's blurred out, because this is my actual receipt, and all I had to do was copy the activation key into Windows, and it's now fully activated. Check out the description below for all the links and more details, and don't forget to use those discount codes. Massive thank you to KeysFan for sponsoring today's video. Now, once you've done the update, it's not going to show up automatically. So if you go into settings, you're going to see cloud streaming beta. So you're going to want to click on this and then activate it, because by default it's turned off. Now, of course, once you've activated it, if you go back to the home screen, you can see you can connect to the PS5, and you also have the option of cloud streaming. Now, bear in mind this is still in beta. There's absolutely tons of games that you can play. Unfortunately, they're just PS5 games from the PlayStation sort of premium collection, but having all these games to actually test it out, and such a variety of games as well, you're definitely going to find a genre of game that you normally like playing, so you can test it out. So I'm going to be testing two games, an FPS game and a racing game. So for the FPS game, we're going to be playing Back 4 Blood, and this is one of my favourite games. I remember playing Left 4 Dead way back in the day with my friends, and we really enjoyed this game. Now, I've always found FPS games to be the worst games for cloud streaming, because the lag is really noticeable if there is any, and we do have a little bit of lag here, but after playing for about half an hour, you kind of get used to it, you compensate for it, and the experience was actually really good. Now, I definitely wouldn't recommend any sort of online co-op because you're definitely going to have a disadvantage from other players that are not cloud streaming the game. So maybe if they had FPS games where they put you in a lobby with other people that were cloud streaming, then it definitely would be a much more even playing field. So moving on to the racing game, we're playing Assetto Corsa, and again, there is a little bit of lag. You do notice it, you do have to compensate for it, but it's a lot easier to compensate for a tiny little bit of lag in a racing game compared to an FPS game. Now, to be honest, I'd actually still be happy to play competitively online cloud streaming Assetto Corsa. I don't think it's that bad, and it's not really going to give anyone else an advantage over you. So I'm definitely going to be playing this game a lot more going forward. I do think Sony has put some time and effort into this, and overall it's a really enjoyable experience. It's nice to see that they haven't just chucked something together to shut up the community. So it's really good to see that Sony are listening to its customers, because from day one when this was released, the community was crying out for the cloud streaming, and no one could really understand why it wasn't a day one feature. Now, although it's still in beta, it's actually quite a large selection of games to sort of test yourself to see how you find it, because cloud streaming is very much dependent on the network environment that you're connected to, and of course how fast your internet is, what latency in milliseconds, so it's referred to as a ping. So there's lots of sort of factors that go into cloud streaming. My experience with this Optimum setup I've got now, I'm really pleasantly surprised. I can definitely see me playing a lot more games cloud streamed to the PlayStation Portal, and maybe I'd even consider taking it on holiday or when I go other places and I've got downtime. As long as you've got a good internet connection, you should be pretty much good to go. Now, of course, it's not perfect, and there will be occasions where you might see the screen go a little bit pixelated or the audio will go a little bit choppy. But for 95% of the time, it runs really well. There is a little bit of lag, but nowhere near as much as you've probably experienced with other cloud streaming services. But I would say the PlayStation Portal is handling it really well, and I will definitely be playing more games streamed on my PlayStation Portal. So I think I'm going to end the video here. But as always, if you enjoy my content, like, subscribe, and then don't forget to hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. I'm JP, you've been watching Alien Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.